barely able to walk, but like when you walk, you like lean to the side, and then like he couldn't even fly away.
But you
He
did
couldn't
what?
fly
You
or
picked him
anything.
up.
And we put him in this like little container, and like we went inside because like mom told us to, and like we just let him be and let him rest for a little bit, and then like we let him out, and then I decided to just go outside and pick him up, and I said like a little prayer, and
And then you got like
I
a
opened my
shock, right?
hands, and like I got like a shock, and I opened my hands like this, and he was standing on my hands, and then he flew away, and I saw like Jesus, well like we call him Yeshua by his real name, and like I saw him in the air.
Really?
Yes.
And the
like,
bird was
saw him.
totally healed, but you had that pain in your
He was
hand.
flying away, and like I saw him, like the sun, you know, the sun's glare.
Yeah.
I saw him with the sun's glare. And it was like shining down, and I saw Yeshua.
Wow. But you healed the bird. That's what was really incredible, right?
That was really cool.
Yeah.
And I was on like the golf course. I picked him up under the patio, and then I went over to the golf course.
Little mini putt-putt, yeah.
I opened my hands because I got a shock, and I let him like, and he flew away, and just like he was all like healthy, and like that bird. I remember that like exact bird, and like I don't know like if he still comes here. I remember months after that he would still come to the house.
Really?
And he would still come here, and like even like a year later, I would still always see him coming into our trees. And, like he would always come here.
I wasn't aware of that. You never told me that. That's really cool.
And the tree that I can see from my bedroom, he would always be in there. He would always be like right there, and like.
Oh, another side of the house, really?
Yeah, and always like be in that tree.
So he kind of had a connection with you because you healed him.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? It's Eric Taylor, BigEAstro. I'm back with another episode of my Knowledge is Love Astrology podcast, continuing this amazing Black History Month, series. And today I am interviewing my third son, and he is the oldest twin, Mr. Jackson Taylor. Welcome to the show, buddy. How you feeling?
Good.
Yeah? Oh, we gotta turn that off, right?
Yeah, I'm turning it off.
Oh, okay. So, tell me, what's it like being a twin? You're the oldest twin, and you're brother number 3 out of the 4 sons. But what's it like first being a twin, and then how do you like being, having 3 brothers?
It's pretty nice, but like, it's a little annoying, cause like I just can never like they're always like around me.
You mean all your brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But especially Mateus, like he'll kind of like follow me everywhere a lot, and like it kind of gets a little annoying.
Okay, you gotta talk a little bit louder.
But like most of the times, like I like don't really mind it, and we just like play football a lot. And honestly, being the middle child, I'm like the second middle child.
Yeah.
But I feel like I have like a lot more responsibility than like Mateus.
Really? Okay, that's interesting.
And like he'll do like more chores than me, but I feel like when it comes to like school, you guys are like more strict on me sometimes.
Oh, okay. So you have always been, and you're a very talented athlete. What is your favorite sport? And share with the audience the different sports that you like to play and different leagues that you played in.
I played soccer. Well, first I played basketball. I played basketball for like a year.
A couple years.
2 years.
Yeah.
And then I played soccer for like 4 years.
And you're really good at soccer, right?
Yeah, I played 5 seasons, but for like 4 years.
Okay.
Because I did like the spring and the fall.
Right.
And then I played for like Phoenix Rising for the entire time, and then I got like trophies and stuff.
Yeah.
And
what was your main position when you played soccer?
I played right wing and left wing.
Okay. Did you have a preference or?
No, not really.
But you were good because you were all over the field like this. So this is the mini me. When I was Jackson's age, we resemble each other the most out of all the four boys, and I was a very good athlete growing up. But this guy, he's so now you've transitioned now, right? Because this is the first year you and your brother played tackle football. How was that? And then what position did you play?
It was really fun. It was kind of like it was different, but like I was like good at it when I first started, and I had like the skill and everything. I just had to put in the work, and I found it being really easy, and I got really good at DB, but I played safety.
Okay. Do you prefer cornerback or safety? Which one?
Safety.
Okay, but you also play some wide receiver as well, right?
Yeah, and I played running back, which running back
Oh
was a
yeah,
lot of fun.
yeah.
And I remember like my first play on the field, like as running back, I hopped on and then like I ran through the sideline on the right side of the field, and it was like our sideline, and I was running and then like I stiff armed like two kids, and then like one of the kids I stiff armed, he went flying because they were like, it was weird. Like I'm really small. I'm like not big for my age, but like those kids that I went against that game, they weren't like that big, and I threw them into like another kid, and I got like 30 yards my first run, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I really stick to safety because it was just my like go-to.
And you like tackling?
Yeah, and I was also I'm good at quarterback, but
He's very good at quarterback, but he doesn't want to play. He's worried about memorizing all the plays. His brother, me, his mom, everybody tries to tell him because Jackson could be like Lamar Jackson. Like he can run, he can throw, but you still don't want to try quarterback, huh?
Yeah, it's not like really my thing.
Okay. So do you think you're better at soccer or football?
Football.
Really? Okay. Now, right now, you're playing on a school team. You're playing, what is it, 7-on-7? Is it flag or touch?
Flag.
Okay. Is that a lot of fun?
Yeah.
Really?
It's fun.
Now, what's your favorite subject in school? Because you're 11 and you're in 6th grade, right? You guys are kind of young because a lot of the kids are already 12. So you're like the youngest, pretty much the youngest in your class, right?
Yeah. So, favorite subject is probably social studies because mainly the teacher, and she makes like everything like funner.
Yeah.
Well, fun is not a word. Like
Yeah.
she makes everything fun.
Okay.
And like you want to do it more in that class. Like other classes, sometimes.
What do you like about social studies? Is it like learning about things in the past, history, or like give me like what is it that you really like?
Sometimes we do like history, like past stuff, and like stuff in history. But what I really like is when we play like these like games. Like we do like ancient Roman games and like different stuff like that.
Okay.
And we act like senators and dictators and stuff like that. And it's honestly a lot of fun.
Okay. So do you remember, I don't know if you remember this, Jackson was notorious when he was a baby, so Mateus was the talker, but Jackson like walked real fast, and he used to like scoot across the floor. And you were a baby, you don't remember this, we have like a pretty hard tile floor, and we had to get him little knee pads because he would go so fast, he would scrape up his knees. Do you remember that, or?
Yeah.
You do? Okay, and then he loved to jump. He would get in the jumper. Mateus would get in the jumper and do like a stinky leg, like one leg jump, and eat a cheese stick. And this guy was like flipping and jumping all over the place. And it's so funny, Mateus was more talkative and verbal than you, but you were the first to say 2 words. Do you remember? Well, I'm sure you don't remember. But we were watching the Grammys. Happy, yes.
I was into a song.
You love that song, Happy. And so one night he actually said, Happy. And we were like, oh my God. And then he was going down a slide. And, Alana and I were there watching. It was a little indoor slide. And he was going down the slide, and we were like, 1, 2. And Jackson said, 3. You remember that?
Yeah. It was like, I remember when we had the place day out there, and it was a lot of fun. I forgot who it was. I think it was like, I forgot his name. But I remember when Grandpa was out there with us. And
Grandpa Allen would push you on the slide, the swing.
Yeah, he was pushing us on the swing.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun.
Yeah. So now this is really fascinating because you also, we saw the basketball and the football skills, because it started where he was a pacifier junkie. He would take pacifiers from Mateus, and Jackson was like a pacifier thug or a gangster. You would have like 3, 4 pacifiers. Do you remember? And you didn't want to give up the pacifier. You kept it for like a long time. Do you remember your love for pacifiers?
And I used to have like 4 around my neck, and Mateus is crying because he doesn't have a single one. And I just keep on taking it from him. And I remember when I would like stash him.
You would stash them?
In like different places.
Oh my God. Now, this is the funny thing. Jackson and Mateus one time, this is like they were not even 2 yet. They hadn't started like the preschool. And Alana and I caught them one day. It was totally like twins create like a super brain. So it's like a third child. And they were moving chairs around together. And Mateus was the strength and Jackson was the climber. And you guys climbed up to get cookies because you saw Mom put some cookies in the thing. And it was the cutest thing. We didn't want to interrupt them. And they worked so hard. So Jackson got up there and they were doing their baby talk. And I think twins tend to sometimes have their own language. Do you feel like you and Mateus, like we're going to get to it because you guys have gone to dreams together. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
But have you guys always developed or had your your own language?
Yeah, like honestly, like I remember it a lot because I remember during that situation, I would like have like I told Mateus to put the chair there, and when I was climbing up, I was like, hold it, and like he was like holding it, and then I'll climb up, and me and Mateus remembered, we remember when you guys put the cookies away, and we saw you put them there, and then I went up, grabbed the cookies for me and Mateus, and like we like sat down and like started eating them.
Yeah, it was really cute.
Ever.
It was so funny. So just like your brother, because I know he used to love to rhyme and freestyle rhyme when he was playing Fortnite. You would do the same thing. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and the game that I used to do it on was like it's like this Marvel game where like it was like multiplayer. And I remember when I would be in your room on the PlayStation 4.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We would like rap all the time. I remember when I made this one rap song.
The Marvel superheroes that you would rhyme, yeah.
And I made this one rap song behind William's bed. And it was the funniest thing ever.
Oh, yeah, we have it on tape. I can't play it in the video because it's a little inappropriate. But Jackson was like saying some legendary stuff that he didn't care about a hit. But he threw in a couple of other words we can't mention. But yeah, no, you definitely made some funny videos. So do you remember your big thing was, because you were very close with Grandma, right?
Yeah.
So Jackson would grab cereal or potato chips or snacks out of the pantry. And he knew he would just run to Grandma's room. And Grandma would open it for you. And you'd sit back there with Grandma and you'd eat it. And you knew when you got to Grandma, you were safe, right?
Mm-hmm. I grabbed like a huge thing of chips, or like I remember I grabbed M&Ms after like a few days after the Halloween party.
Yeah, because we don't just have M&Ms in the house. We don't do candy like that. But go ahead.
It was like the day after the Halloween party, and it was like early in the morning. And I woke up, and Grandma was like awake, and we were watching TV. We were watching movies together, and I grabbed the M&Ms, which I don't know how I thought of all of this, and I was like 3 or like 2 or I wasn't 4. I was under 4. I was like 3 or 2.
Yeah. I think you were 3.
And I was pretty sure I was 3. And I would grab the M&Ms and I would run to Grandma's room and have her open it for me, and like we would eat them together. It was so cute.
Yeah. So did you enjoy watching movies with Grandma?
Yeah.
You used to watch a lot of movies with her, right?
We watched like 5 movies a day. Like more than that too. Especially
on the weekends, yeah, when you guys weren't in school. But during the pandemic, when you had homeschooling, right, you had the whole day. So after homeschool, you guys would just go hang out.
What I used to always watch is I watched the animals. Like
oh, you and Grandma watched the animal movie. Yeah, she loved
like the safari, the Arctic, and we watched like all these other animals, and like we polar bears, penguins, orcas.
Well, tell everybody you've always loved animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, one time, you guys, Jackson's pretty magical. We're going to get into some stuff talking about that, but a bird flew into our window, and he kind of like damaged his wing.
And like he couldn't like. He was barely able to walk, but like when you walk, you like lean to the side, and then like he couldn't even fly away.
But you did what? You picked him up,
and we put him in this like little container, and like we went inside because like mom told us to, and like we just let him be and let him rest for a little bit, and then like we let him out, and then I decided to just go outside and pick him up, and I said like a little prayer, and
And then you got like
I
a
opened my
shock, right?
hands, and like I got like a shock, and I opened my hands like this, and he was standing on my hands, and then he flew away, and I saw like Jesus, well like we call him Yeshua by his real name, and like I saw him in the air.
Really?
Yes, and
And the
like
bird
saw
was
him.
totally healed,
Yeah,
but you had
and
that pain
he
in
was
your hand.
flying away, and like I saw him like the sun, you know, the sun's glare.
Yeah.
I saw him with the sun's glare. And it was like shining down, and I saw Yeshua.
Wow. But you healed the bird. That's what was really incredible, right?
That was really cool.
Yeah.
And I was on like the golf course. I picked him up under the patio, and then I went over to the golf course.
Little
and,
mini putt-putt, yeah.
I opened my hands because I got a shock, and I let him like, and he flew away, and just like he was all like healthy, and like that bird. I remember that like exact bird, and like I don't know like if he still comes here, but I remember months after that he would still come to the house.
Really?
And he would still come here, and like even like a year later I would still always see him coming into our trees, and like he would always come here.
I wasn't aware of that. You never told me that. That's really cool.
And the tree that I can see from my bedroom, he would always be in there. He would always be like right there. And like,
oh, on the other side of the house, really?
Yeah, and always like be in that tree.
So he kind of had a connection with you because you healed him.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really powerful. So, okay, so what? Just a couple rapid fire questions. What's your favorite color?
Honestly, black.
Okay.
I used to be really big on red.
Yeah.
And like I like black and white. I don't really have like a favorite color.
Okay.
But like, if it was like red versus blue, I would always pick red.
Okay.
Because me and Mateus loved blue.
Yeah.
So then when I was a kid, I always picked red.
Right.
And like me and him would like color different stuff, and like it was just fun.
Okay. What is your favorite food to eat?
It's been a while since I had it, but I used to make this almost every day, like every 2 to 3 days when in quarantine. I used to make shrimp fried rice. So good.
Oh, yeah. But you also used to love quesadillas.
Yeah, I love quesadilla, but honestly, my top favorite is the shrimp fried rice.
Okay. But don't you also like sushi and...
Second, sushi. Third, calamari.
Yeah, you do like calamari. Yeah. And what is your favorite dessert?
That one's hard. that one's really hard because
He's got a big sweet tooth. He's like his dad when I was little. Oh my God, you'd love.
What are those one cookies that I always would want to get at the sushi place? It was like those little those thin cookies with like the stuff in the middle. I forgot what they're called. Those are so good.
Yeah.
And then what I really liked was
But you also like the cakes we get from Arai, the Japanese bakery.
The cakes were really good, but honestly, the smallest cake, when I went there the first time, I had the little one when we just went there during quarantine, for fun kind of. We got a little one, and the fruit cups. Oh. It's white jelly, but it tastes really good. And then there's fruit kiwi, strawberries, and all the fruit mixed in with it.
Oh, you like that?
And it's a huge jelly.
You like fruit though, yeah. Okay. Okay, that's pretty cool. So, for me, I get kind of fascinated in terms of how you and Mateus, because you told me once at night when we go to bed every night and I say prayers with you guys, you told me that you and your brother, sometimes you guys will dream together and be in the same dream. So when was the last time you did that, and how do you do it, or explain to everybody what is that about, because that's pretty rare and pretty cool.
Honestly, it was a month ago, because I don't know what happened. We just kind of stopped because like all like the stuff that has been happening, like we've just been changing a lot, and like our stuff is like we're just like different from each other now.
Okay.
But like sometimes like we'll have some like every little bit. But like it's been like a month now. Like last month we had one, but
Oh, so last month you guys were in each other's dream?
yeah,
Oh, wow.
and we went back to when Grandma could still walk,
Oh,
and we saw her, and like I remember we saw like things where like she would like be playing with like Elijah.
really?
He was a kid, and like we weren't physically there together, like
Yeah,
me
you guys
and
weren't alive
Mateus,
yet, but you saw it.
but were like we saw it in our dream.
Wow, Mateus never told me this, but this is the first I ever heard of that. That's pretty awesome.
And like we saw Mom like when she was cooking food, and she was cooking curry. And we saw that day what she was cooking. I remember when
Was it here or was it in a house in New York?
and
Okay.
I remember when Grandma went into her room and she was like watching movies with William and Elijah. And William was like a baby, and William was sitting on her lap. And I actually remember it like really well
Wow.
from that dream.
So you were always very close and connected to Grandma. Grandma sometimes she loved like watching you play and would play catch with you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Do you remember, because Mateus did it a little bit more than you, but do you remember kind of like pushing her around in a wheelchair and just helping her out with different things and playing catch with her?
Yeah, the funniest things I remember is like we would eat dinner and like she would always steal your food.
Oh,
Like
gosh.
no matter what, she won't steal anyone else's food.
Just Daddy's, just
And
mine.
she'll only steal yours. And then like even after she eats, she'll like when we're not paying attention, like let's say we're praying. I remember one time we were praying, and then she scoot over and like try to go into the pantry. And, like I would always like bring her back from like the pantry and put her back and bring her back to the table.
Yeah.
And it was just funny, and she would always like grab stuff. I remember one day she grabbed like an onion.
Oh,
And she
yes.
just bit it. And then like later that day.
Well, no, we were trying to get it from her, but she wouldn't let it go, and she was eating it. It was like a tomato, but she was just chewing the onion like it didn't faze her.
I know, it was
She was like a gangster.
And then like
Oh, God.
later, I remember like later that day, it was very scary for me. But I remember when Grandma was eating a cheese stick in your room after I brought her to the room and we were watching football. And she started like choking.
On a cheese stick?
Yeah, I remember when she started like vomiting a little bit.
Ooh.
And it was like a while ago, and like no one really like, not a lot of people remember. I know Wham doesn't remember it because Wham was in his room, but Mateus remembers it because we were there.
Well, it wasn't as bad as the time when I had to save her life when she almost on the day of the inauguration.
It wasn't.
She almost choked on the meat. Remember, she was choking on the meatloaf.
Like, we just like had to pat her back a lot, and I remember like she vomited a little bit.
So, let's talk about that though, because we did go through plenty different things with going to the hospital with Grandma. Do you remember like how quickly like she started choking the meatloaf? And remember, I got her out of the wheelchair and I started doing the Heimlich. Like, what were you thinking and feeling? Because I know it was pretty scary for you guys.
I knew she was gonna be okay because it's happened a lot, and at that point, I honestly felt like Grandma was like immortal. Like
Really?
nothing faced her because she would like choke or like something would be very serious, and then like I'd visit her at the hospital, and then she'd come back in the next few days. And
remember, when she choked on the broccoli from the senior center, and then I was there for 2 days, and then that was Thursday, Friday, and then you guys came on a Saturday, and they were like telling me they thought she was gonna pass away and all this stuff, and then in comes the Taylor twins and Alana and all the boys. And she started like watching you guys and trailing around the room, and then she squeezed your hand, right?
And I remember one time, me and Mom would go on these walks in the morning. Sometimes it would just be us, and like down like it was like by Sprouts. It's like this little green like big field area, and me and Mom would walk. And sometimes we would walk to where Grandma was at, cause Grandma was at like the hospital, like right by there one time.
Oh, the life care center, yeah.
Yeah, the life care center. And I would like me and Mom would always walk to that grass field, and like we would play in there, and it was like a lot of fun. And we would say hi to Grandma and like talk to her, and she would always like squeeze my hand.
Yeah, she really. Yeah, you guys had a special connection. So, um, you were really young, so you probably don't remember, but do you remember when you were 2 years old and Jackson, like his older brother William, which you guys saw on his episode, Jackson had strep pneumonia, and it was, but it was liquid, and so he didn't have to have surgery, but they had to put the tube inside and drain it out of him. Do you remember being in the hospital? Because you were in the ICU for like 21 days, I believe.
Not really, but I remember I still have the scar right here. It's starting to go away, but like you can still see it, and it's like right on my side.
Yeah.
And like it was like honestly, I don't know how it felt, but I remember in like 5th grade I got pneumonia again. And I went I had a lot of pain there, and that's when I got back into like the inhaler, remember?
Yeah.
And I was still playing soccer a lot, so I was very active, and I had to use the inhaler a lot.
Yeah, I do remember that. So right now, besides the social studies, what else is your favorite thing about school? Because you're pretty social and you got a lot of friends. Like what's your favorite thing about school besides social studies?
PE.
PE.
Because I have like a lot of fun, and like a lot of my friends are in that class.
Okay.
And like most of my friends are in that class.
And you play different sports and games and
like we played like ultimate football. So like it's a game of football, and it's like 2-hand touch, and then sometimes we just play like a game of football, and then like we have it like when you're guarding the person, it's like a countdown, and then like we would like throw it into the touchdown, but we only have like 3 passes.
Oh, okay.
And like my one tall friend, I'll just always throw it up to him when he was on my team, and he would just always catch it.
Okay. So let me ask you this: do you what's your favorite football team?
Eagles.
Yeah, you just won the Super Bowl, right? That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Did you think that they would be able to do it, or were you surprised?
Honestly, I wasn't surprised, because the only game that I thought would honestly be a little hard, because if the Bills won, it honestly would have been a cool Super Bowl.
Yeah.
A lot cooler than the Chiefs-Eagles.
Yeah.
And the only team that I really thought that would be like a little hard game was the Commanders, but it ended up not, and Saquon Barkley ran all over them. It was so
No, he was
first like touch. First play when he touched the ball.
You knew,
he got a touchdown. 61-yard touchdown.
Yeah, no, he killed the Commanders.
To the house.
It was a great Super Bowl, and you really liked Kendrick Lamar too, right?
Yeah.
So who's your favorite artist? What's your favorite song or hip hop artist? Like,
Kendrick Lamar, Tyler the Creator, Juice WRLD. Okay. Listen to him quite a bit. I don't listen to him a lot, but I still really like his songs. XXX.
Okay. Do you like J. Cole at all, or no?
No, not really.
Okay.
And I kind of grew up on XXX because of William.
Okay.
Because he would always listen to it, so it was like a thing. And Juice WRLD, because he would always listen to it.
Yeah, he listened to Juice WRLD a lot, yeah.
And one of my favorite Kendrick songs is like All the Stars.
Oh, yeah, we used to listen to that
nice.
Black Panther soundtrack all the time. So, do you have a favorite movie? I know you guys loved all the Marvel stuff, but is there like a movie that you're like, you could watch at any time? Whether it's Star Wars or Marvel, or like when we do the family holiday movies like Elf or different things.
My favorite Christmas movie is Elf. It's really funny. We can watch it like almost every year. Yeah. And I would still laugh to it. And
although we didn't do it this year, but
really
maybe we'll do it next year, because Elf is funny. Yeah.
And like I remember like that one scene, he was like in the glass because he was looking for his dad, and like he went into like this workshop, and he was like in like the glass where like they showed like the featured stuff, and then like he saw his dad, and he was like banging on the glass, and his dad was like, "Who are you?" He was like this big elf who's like in an elf costume, this big guy, and it was just funny.
Yeah, no, he's really good. So, on the more serious side, we kind of went through COVID in 2020, and the pandemic was kind of challenging, and you guys were doing the homeschooling and stuff, and we were extra careful with grandma.
Yeah.
But then we got it really bad, the Delta, in 2021. And so I remember August 27th, grandma had to go in the hospital. And then I went in August 29th. And what was that like when, the ambulance came and my oxygen was so low, down to like 56%? What were you thinking or feeling in your head, and what were you feeling?
I knew you were gonna come back, but I didn't really know if you were, like, I didn't know when, and I hoped that you would come back, but honestly, after I saw you later that night when we were on call, and you were like you had like the oxygen thing on,
Yeah.
like you could barely talk, and like you were like your eyes would start to like shut down, and it looked like you were leaving us. I honestly woke up every single day, and I would wonder if I.
Yeah. It's all right. It was scary, right? But you know what? Daddy made it, and God is good. And
If I would wake up the next morning with a father,
yeah,
and I would always call you, and then that one day when you went to the coma,
when
it
mom,
just made everything worse.
yeah, when mom told you the morning of the 7th, was that kind of really hard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because first thing I woke up to was mom said gathered all of us, and we went out here, and I sat in the green chairs. Me and Tay sat in the green chairs, and William sat on the couch.
Yeah.
And mom said, "Dad's Mom said the news, and like we all like started crying."
Yeah. Was
And
it
then, like,
really
we pray every night.
scary because it was so long? 40 days is a long time.
Yeah. And I didn't know when you were gonna come home. And like every single day I was hoping that you were still with us.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was a lot. And how did you feel when you found out on September 21st when grandma passed away?
It broke me.
Yeah. It's all right, buddy. It's all right. Yeah, you and grandma were very close. And I know that was really hard because she came home on September 10th, but then went back to the hospital on the 11th. And then you didn't really get to see her again, and that was really hard, right?
Because back then I didn't have a lot of friends, and she was like my only friend
Yeah.
beside my brothers.
Yeah, grandma was really great. And grandma, really, even with dementia and being in a wheelchair, she left such an imprint on these boys because she was so loving and kind. And she played catch with you and laugh. And, we used to have so much fun and great times and great memories as a family and just so much love. And, and she's with you, And haven't you seen her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, because this is really deep, and maybe some of you guys remember watching my NDE story and I shared it, but this is the guy. When in coma, I died 3 times, and after the first time I died, then I kind of knew, we have eternal life, and we go into the astral realm and other dimensions, but after the second time, I astro-traveled to my home from the hospital, from being in coma. Like, I was totally still in coma. And I came to my house, but when I came to my house after that second time, I had an option of going in one room and I would see my son William, who was 12 at the time, 5 years in the future. But for some reason I didn't want to do it. So I came to the sofa in this room out here in the living room, and I saw, my wife and our, friend and business associate and all that, and they were talking. And then I saw Jackson, and you came over to me on the sofa and you gave me a hug, and then you kind of walked off, and that was it. But I knew that because you at the same time, you share with everybody what you saw and what you experienced.
So basically, when I was sitting in the green chairs, I got up and it was almost like me just hugging air, because you weren't physically there, and I just got up, and like when I would close my eyes, I would see you, but when I had them open, I like couldn't. And honestly, I sat down on that chair and I was saying a prayer, and I got up and I really just hugged the air, and I just got up and I was just hoping you were there, and I just hugged the air. I didn't see you, and then I was closing my eyes, and then I saw you hugging me.
Yeah. But then you told Mom, right? What'd you tell her?
I said I just hugged Dad, and like I was like hugging him. She was like, she didn't really like believe me, but like she went along with it, you know, because like.
But then you tell her that Dad's gonna be okay and he's gonna come home and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you know after that when you saw me that like, hey, my dad's gonna be all right?
Yeah, and I remember the day when we first saw you again, and what I really remember is when you woke up.
Oh, and then we spoke over the phone, FaceTime, yeah.
I remember when me, Mom, and Mateus, William was at home, and me, Mom, and Mateus were in the car, and we were driving home. We were on the highway, and like we were like on the 101, right by us.
Yeah.
And we were almost at our exit, and then we like get a call, and then like we were just all like really happy after we heard the news, and like
What the hospital said that I had awakened.
Yeah. And then like we started talking to you, and then we called William, and then we told him about it, and William was really happy, and we were all just really happy.
Yeah.
And I remember the day when we met you again, and like you had the oxygen tank, you were in a wheelchair.
Yeah, outside when we ate outside in the rehab facility. Yeah, that was day 72. It took me 72 days to be able to see my boys in person. When I awakened, I saw them over FaceTime and all that, and talked on the phone. But yeah,
I never really like when I see you on the phone. Like I never really saw you in person because they didn't allow kids, and I was like every time I was like when I first saw you, it was like at the start like you looked so much different, and it was almost like I didn't really recognize you.
yeah, because
Like,
I was so skinny.
I still knew,
right?
And like you just looked a lot different.
Yeah.
Cause like after you don't see someone for a long time, it's like you're re-meeting them, and that's basically what happened. But it wasn't like that. It was just like I was getting used to your new looks.
Okay.
Cause I like really just like.
Well, I finally got to hold you guys and hug you, and we got to eat some food together.
And I remember when we were making the food, we had like salmon, and then we had the rice and all that other stuff.
Was so good.
It was so good.
Yeah. So that was really, that was really wild. And then I came home right before Thanksgiving, November 20th. And then Grandma came and moved in the next day, the 21st. Yeah, I remember.
And I remember when we told you the news about Grandma.
Oh, that was rough, yeah.
And I remember like every single day you would like cry.
Yeah.
And it was just really hard.
Yeah, it was hard. It was a hard time. But, I think we have overcome so much and always kept the faith with God, and our family's been so strong. And, you're the, Leo sun, the Scorpio moon, and the Capricorn rising. But you've always been very spiritual, and you've always, did you enjoy, like during the pandemic when we did family yoga and when we got the sound bowl and we would meditate? Do you like that stuff?
Yeah, I liked it. It was honestly fun, and it really just like distracted me from like all like the negative stuff that was going on.
Yeah, no, that's really important. So have you, since Grandma's passed away, have you seen her in the spiritual realm?
Yes.
Yeah.
And like one thing about like quarantine, like a lot of bad stuff happened to us, and like a lot of bad stuff did happen, but it was honestly like a lot of fun for me because I didn't worry about really anything except like you guys. And then like when you came back and like everything was like okay, like cause like for the longest time I missed your reminders, cause like you would always tell us to do something, or like, oh, go take a shower, go brush your teeth, like get ready for bed, and like you do all this stuff, and then like they were just gone. And like the only thing that I did to like really distract ourselves, we all just played Fortnite all day.
Yeah.
And like we just played Fortnite, and like they were like the best seasons of Fortnite, and that's all we did all day. We just played Fortnite. William like started doing Fortnite videos, and we just played Fortnite like
Well,
literally
yeah,
all
because
day.
you guys just had homeschool, and then you would have all this time,
And
and
honestly,
mom would be at the hospital, and
in homeschool, like it was like they really didn't teach us anything at the homeschool that we were at, and it wasn't really like good until we went to Venture Up, because that one was actually good.
well, yeah, and
But
tell people now it was really cool because didn't you you were learning sign language, and you also dissected what?
we dissected cow, like sheep brain, and like a sheep's heart.
And that was like what? You were only in second, third grade?
Fourth. Oh no, not fourth, third.
Third.
It's
Wow.
third grade.
That's like high school stuff. So that was pretty awesome, huh?
And then we would make like the heart and like the lungs, because I remember when we dissected cow lung. It was big. It was really big.
Cow lung?
Yeah, cow lungs.
Wow. Okay.
And
I
it
forgot
was really
about
cool.
that, yeah.
And we did tons of stuff.
Yeah.
But then sometimes we would recreate a miniature version out of candy, and then we would eat it. And, like we did like Rice Krispie treats, M&Ms. Like all
Yeah,
that.
this was a homeschool, but they had electives once a week on Wednesdays, and the boys would go down and be there the whole day, and they would do like the most amazing, cool stuff, and it was really a wonderful program in school, and something that I know that they kind of miss, and my wife and I miss it too. So, for you, you've always been able to see things in the spiritual realm. Because I remember when you were little, you used to play hide and seek with my dad, and I lost my dad at 6 years old. What was that like?
It was like,
Because we didn't know you were doing that, and then one time you finally told us, right?
yeah, like before I told you guys, like we would always play hide and seek, and there was always this random like guy that I would see when we were playing hide and seek, who just like run across this hallway back and forth in a blue shirt. And Mom saw him one day too.
Yeah.
I remember when Mom saw him, and like she really knew that I could actually see these
Spirits, yeah.
spirits, and because she saw it too.
Did it ever scare you, or did you just not, you didn't know what it was?
It felt like normal.
Okay.
It felt like a normal thing to happen, and like I thought you guys saw it too. So I would just play hide and seek, and then like Mateus would like saw me one day. He was like, "Why are you like just counting and then looking for something?" And then like he looked, and then I said to your dad, I said, "Okay, it's your turn to count." And then I went to go hide, and I hid behind the door in the laundry room, because when I was a kid, that's where I always hid. And like Mateus was like, why do you keep on hiding? I was like, I'm playing with Dad. I'm playing with Grandpa. And then like that's when like I like told like Mom and you after a little bit, and
we had no idea. And what's so fascinating about that, I could totally see my dad doing that, because he was just a big kid, and you guys literally, this is what's so fascinating. I'm actually just coming up with this right now as we're recording this. They have Uranus and Aries in the fourth house, and the fourth house is their home. And my dad was in Aries. And Uranus is the spiritual awakener connecting them, and that's pretty powerful, yeah. So I really, well, we totally believed you. We didn't think you were making it up, but like I could totally see that now. That's really wild. So, go ahead, what were you going to say?
And honestly, that one guy who would always like pop up when I was playing with Dad's dad, I think he might have known Grandpa. I think he might have known him. I think he might have known your dad, because he was always like around with him.
Okay.
And like I remember when I would literally like bring snacks to them.
Really?
Like I would bring snacks into my room. Like I would grab like tons of applesauces, because I was like, I
remember
love
you would do.
applesauces.
Oh my god!
Like applesauces and cheesesteaks, and I would like bring them all back to my room. And mind you, I wasn't like old. I was like 5.
Yeah, no, this
and I would like run back to my room, and I would like sit down and eat with them. and like I thought they were actually eating it because like they actually were, but like in reality they weren't.
Right.
Like I just saw them and they
You
were
could see them
eating it.
eating, yeah.
And then, but there were some times where they were actually able to pick the stuff up, and like I remember when they were like eating food.
Really?
And they actually, like, the cheese sticks were actually floating. And I'm not lying. Like, I'm being dead serious. And Mateus walked in, and they, like, just dropped it. And he's like, what are you doing? He's like,
So,
and then I was like, you saw that, right? And he's like, yeah, what was that? And we never really said anything. Because we were
could
kids,
he
we never
see,
really thought
could
about
he
it.
see stuff like you, or he wasn't able to see them like you?
Honestly, I feel like he could. He just never really thought of it.
Okay.
Because, like, I remember, like, all these stories that you would tell me about, like, your grandparents. And then, like, I ended up getting really close.
About my dad, yeah.
And I would always see him, and he became my friend.
Yeah.
Like, a really good friend. I would always play with him. And then, like, I would always, like, see him and, like, bring him little snacks and stuff. And
that's
there were
so
days where,
amazing
like,
to me. It's
he would, like, flicker lights for me. And, like, he would, like, I'll be like, if you're here right now, do this, and then he'll do it, and then like I'll start seeing him, and then we'll like play a game of hide and seek and like do this stuff. And
so my dad would flicker lights for you?
Mm-hmm. And I remember one time I said, if you're here right now, turn the lights on and off, and he did it. And like I literally saw the light switch move up and down, and like if he like really wanted to, he would like do something to like show me a cool trick or like to like do stuff, you know.
Wow, this is.
And then like sometimes if he just wanted to hang out with me, he would like flicker the lights or like he'll tap me. Cause I remember one time I was sleeping and it scared the heck out of me. Like he tapped on my shoulder and I rolled over to my side and I was like, yeah. And then like he tapped my shoulder again and I woke up and it was him and all of his friends just standing there. And I saw all of them. There was like 10 people in the room.
Really?
And then like 5 more walked in through my front door. And then like they were just like having fun. And like he woke me up and like I saw him and like he said hi to me and like we talked for a little bit.
This is
like I never really thought about it like that and I never really brought it up.
Yeah.
Really. And
I'm glad you're sharing because this is so powerful and this is what Knowledge is Love is all about, you guys. Like, you know, this is the Neptune Pisces generation alpha, and they're very connected to the other side. And Jackson is a great example of that, of having these spiritual gifts, and then the Uranus and Aries, and literally in the 4th house, and the Pluto on the ascendant. So, do you remember? Because I know I talked to your brother about this, but do you remember like being kind of like famous in Costco? Like you guys are like going there. And...
Yeah, because I remember every time I go around, like I would know everyone, and even now when like we would go there, like even like one of the like some of the older workers, they'll remember us. Like I remember you guys when you were just little babies, and you guys sit in your car and like just eat food.
Yeah.
And it was so fun. It was
That's so really awesome. Wow. So okay, so what was it? You know, for you, do you remember? Like, what was your favorite vacation that we went on? Because we've been to, you know, Colorado and Austin and Houston and down in Galveston and San Diego. I mean, you may not remember Colorado.
I would have to say San Diego.
San Diego, yeah. SeaWorld and the zoo.
SeaWorld was a lot of fun.
And the San Diego Zoo was cool, too.
And
because you love animals, right?
I remember when early in the morning, instead of me and Mom going to the beach, we would rush down to see, like, the sea animal. Like, we would see the otters. Mm-hmm. And then we would see the seals.
Yeah, the seals.
And they would do like a show. And like we would get up real early and watch it. And then you guys like would still be in the room. And then the one time we went with Mateus. But like normally it was just me and Mom alone. And we would just go and we would and then we would come back later. I remember when they were all one time we saw Steph Curry.
Oh, when we were at the zoo, or was that SeaWorld? I can't remember.
SeaWorld.
The SeaWorld.
And we were watching the seals because they did it like a later one.
I feel like we saw him at the zoo, not SeaWorld.
No, because I remember later that day we went to the zoo, and at the zoo, at SeaWorld, we saw him because I remember when I turned around, like, we were watching the seals, and then, like, his daughter, like, said something, and, like, I turned around, because, like, there's a lot of voices, but, like, I just heard them, because they, like, they literally walked, like, right by us.
Yeah,
and
then they had security. That's how we knew that it was somebody famous. Yeah,
he's, like, tall.
yeah.
And, like,
He's like 6'3". Yeah.
yeah.
No, that was really cool, and that was like a great time. And did you like the beach better in San Diego or in Galveston, in Texas?
Texas. I like the beach better in Texas.
Yeah.
It felt nicer, but honestly, in San Diego, every time I would walk on, like, the beach, I felt like crabs, like, were, like, poking me for some reason. That's why I didn't really like it that much. Because, like, when I would be swimming, like, I didn't know. Because sometimes
I got to take you to the beach on the East Coast.
Yeah, because sometimes I would just be normally walking, and, like, boom, I get, like, poked, and, like, it, like, hurt a little. And, like, I didn't really like it. But in Texas, I didn't even worry about anything. It was just so much fun. We would just go around. I remember when I wanted to go with, me and Mateus wanted to go with William and Elijah. But we were just in our floaties, and we didn't know how to swim. And they were, like, going real, like, they were going really deep.
They went out pretty far.
And, like, William, like, caught a fish. Like, it jumped out the water. He caught it, and then, like, it was slippery. So, like, it slid out his hands.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, he caught, like, one fish.
Yeah. And you like fishing too, right? We've done fishing and all these different things. So, how did you like when we went and we did the zip line this Christmas and we rode horses?
That was a lot of fun.
A couple of 2 Christmases ago.
Tinker
Verde, yeah.
Horses, it was so much fun.
You love riding horses, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
See, I grew up riding horses too, and it's really
But there were tons of crazy stuff that happened too, because I remember, like, it was Mateus's, actually no, Mom's horse. Oh no, it was Mateus's horse, because Mateus's horse had, like, diarrhea.
Oh yeah.
And then I
remember that.
And Mom's horse, like, jumped up, and we were on top of, like, a mountain, like a really tall mountain, and we were going up. And it was, like, really scary because it, like, scared, like, quite a bit of the horses.
Yeah.
And they could have just gone off track and, like, fallen down and, like, stuff like that. But, like, they stayed on track, but, like, that one horse, like, jumped up.
Yeah. And it was kind of a miracle because that place is so packed and crowded, and people come literally from all over the world. There are people from out of America, and we just happened to, like, book it. Like, we tried to go this year, and it was just, like, too much, and it was too crowded. But when we went, it was, like, 2 or 3 years ago now. I think it was 3 years ago now. It was, like, perfect, and it was so much fun because you guys, I think, were 8, getting ready to be 9, right, when we went?
Yeah.
Something like that. But it was a great time. So let me ask you this: as we get ready to wrap up, what do you think about, like, for the future in terms of, would you want to try to play football, maybe professionally or in college? Do you have any ideas of, like, what you may want to be when you grow up?
I really want to play football because I feel like it's something I can be really good at, and I honestly believe that I can make it to the NFL, and I know that I will.
Okay, but remember, what does Daddy always say? You got to work hard, right?
Work hard, and play hard.
Yeah, and what about repetition?
Repetition is the key to ownership.
Okay, so
discipline is love.
Yeah, well, because you got to get the grades, so then you could play in high school and in college, right?
Yeah.
And we got to start taking better care of our health and eating, right? Get some more fruits and veggies.
Yeah. Okay. But I believe I can do it. I'll make it.
I have faith in you. This guy, he I was really a good athlete, but I just had the poor vision. He's got the good vision and the good athletic ability and stuff. Yeah. And he's a good dancer too. He likes, like the dance. You still like to dance a little bit?
Yeah.
Well, you just have natural rhythm. Some of your brothers don't really have rhythm like you. I think you and Dad, we kind of share. Like, when I say he's my mini-me, like, I mean, it's like for real, for real. So what is your, you already said you like Kendrick and Tyler. What's your favorite video game? Is it college football, Madden, or?
College football, because, well, I really like Madden, but, like, I play Madden, like, I've played Madden for, like, a long time. And, like, I still sometimes hop back on Madden 18 because they don't, like, do, like, the, like, things where, like, you can go back in eras and, like, go back to, like, different, like, times or, like, old versions of, like, the teams.
Okay.
But, like, sometimes, like, I would just hop on Madden 18 and play with like Antonio Brown or like Julio Jones
Or Odell Beckham.
or Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
And I
That's
just
cool.
play around a lot and just have a lot of fun.
Now, did you have like a favorite movie? Star Wars or Black Panther or any of the Marvel movies or?
I really like Black Panther.
That was good, right?
It was really good.
Yeah, we really enjoyed that. That and the soundtrack. We listened to that soundtrack all the time, right?
I think I watched Black Panther like 5 times.
Wow. Yeah, that was good.
And then I watched Raising Dion with Mateus like.
Oh, that's a great series,
Like
Raising
1,000
Dion.
times. Like,
And I think it may be coming back out.
Yeah. And they're coming out with the new one like this year or next year.
And then we enjoyed watching Sweet Tooth, right?
Yeah, Sweet Tooth. I hope they come out with the new one.
Yeah.
And Stranger Things is coming out with the new one.
Oh,
in
yes.
like around August.
We love watching family series and shows together. Yeah, Stranger Things
think-
we'll have to watch, yeah.
Like there's like a post about it. It was coming out like a day after our birthday, or like the day
Really?
of our birthday.
Okay. So do you relate to, as Dad kind of talks about the astrology, like the Scorpio moon in terms of like kind of being able to have like different spiritual gifts and stuff? Can you feel that energy? Or do you feel even having the Leo sun in 8th house, can you kind of get or understand when I talk about it?
Yeah, I understand it. Because, like, most of the things that you talk about, actually, like, they literally happened.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that one morning we got in our crash, like, you really, like, read in, like, the birth chart sign that something was going to happen.
Oh, I forgot about, they were in a crazy car accident. The car was totaled, but not a scratch on any of them. And in transit, Venus was right there next to my Capricorn moon, but Pluto was there. So it was like the family in the car in a local community, and there was the accident, but the car was totaled, but it was a little scary though for you guys, right? But everybody was fine, nobody was hurt, and that was a miracle. That was
one thing that I never told anyone after that car crash is now I always ride with the seatbelt, but like I saw Wayne riding without a seatbelt, and I like always look up to Wayne most of the time, and
gotta wear your seatbelt.
I didn't ride with the seatbelt that day,
That's not good.
the first thing that happens, because you guys always tell me to wear a seatbelt, first thing that happened when we got in that crash, I got up, I sat back down in my seat and put the seatbelt back on.
Yeah. You gotta wear the seatbelt. Safety is very important, right?
And then like I like took off my seatbelt and like hopped out. Like I had it on the entire time.
Wow. Okay. So, any closing messages you want to share with the people and stuff, and even just, inspiration of like hope and positivity?
Honestly, I think you just like remind like as like a daily reminder, you're second and like God is first. Like always like put that like you're second.
You put God first in your life, yeah.
Because I know like a lot of people who do that, and honestly, I look up to like most like NFL players, and like a lot of them do that too, and they put like God.
Well,
first.
we've seen in our life, right, a lot of miracles. We've been through some tough times, but God has always been there for us,
A lot
right?
of stuff has happened, and when I had that double pneumonia, it could have been a lot worse too.
Oh yeah, it definitely could have been. But you're strong and a fighter, and I know that you've got a bright future ahead of you. And, Dad loves you, and I'm proud of you, and, I'm proud of you and all your brothers. And I think that, I know that as long as we keep God first, right, we've got a very special family, and Mom loves you too. So I thank you for coming on the podcast today, all right? Yeah. And it's important, right? Black History Month. You told me that in your school, a lot of kids, they didn't even know who Malcolm X was, and they don't know anybody, right?
A little like Calvin Cornerback. They didn't know her either. Like, they don't really talk about her either because they didn't want to put her as, like, the front cover for Black History Month. They put, like, Rosa Parks, especially for the front cover of, like, they really talked about her for the bus.
Mm-hmm. But she was the first one on the bus, right?
Yeah, but before her, Calvin Kodak, she was 15, and they didn't want to put her up because she was, like, considered as, like, like
Bad representation.
yeah,
she was
pregnant.
Yeah.
So like they didn't want to put her up for that, so they just did Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
And like this year she finally got her by a black lawyer. She finally got her case dropped off of her. Like all like the stuff that was on her I forgot what's it called? Like it's on like your record.
Your record, yeah.
It was taken off this year.
Really? Wow, I didn't know that.
And now
You're
she's
teaching me something.
She's like really old, and she's like she might be like she's like I think she's in her 80s or like late 80s.
Okay.
And she finally got that taken off her record.
Yeah, that's Black history for you, you know, and that's really
and by
incredible.
a black lawyer.
Yeah, that's incredible. So, well, I thank you for sharing that wonderful insight and knowledge with us on the Knowledge is Love Astrology podcast. Now you guys learned something, and it was just a great time having you on the show, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
All right, you guys. Thank you for watching episode 309 with the Jack Attack, right? Jackson Taylor. You used to love that nickname,
Jack
right?
Attack to tell the world. Wait, Jack Attack to tell the world step back.
Hoo-ha. Gotcha. All on the check. There you
It's
go.
been a while since I said that.
Yeah, I know. All right, you guys. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace out.